time and a fourth time.
Hello viewers, I am waiting for you. I am just now going on live. Everybody, I approaching everybody. Please join my live and ask your friends, circle, family members to join my live. Thank you, everybody. I'm waiting for you. Hello viewers, I would like to discuss a new government holiday that is known as Memorial Day. You know, Memorial Day is a government holiday in USA. Total 12, maybe 12 days is government holiday in throughout the year. And this is the one of them. So I would like to discuss about what is Memorial Day. A lot of people live here, comes from different part of the world, different country of the world, but they do not know what is Memorial Day. I ask my country people, some are citizens, some are non-resident, some are resident, some are non-citizen, but they do not know what is Memorial Day. I ask everybody why you do not know what is Memorial Day. So I would like to discuss about this Memorial Day because it's a great historical importance in our USA life. You know, the Memorial Day, a federal holiday held the last Monday in May every year. The last Monday, remember, the last Monday in May in every year is the Memorial Day. As according to this year, the Memorial Day is last Monday, and the last Monday is 27th May. That's why Memorial Day will be observed in 27th May this month. That means this month. So It's a has a great importance in our national life. So we have to discuss about this, and we would like to inform everybody what is Memorial Day, why we would celebrate it, why should we celebrate it. Mm, this is known as the National Marn Day. Why it is called National Marn Day? Because this day is celebrated its deceased servicemen and women. Deceased servicemen and women who were passed away from the serving in the our that is called, they are serving in our army or navy anywhere in the service. That's why government service. That's why they dedicated for the country and they dedicated their life for the country. That's why they become deceased, and we all everybody remember for remembering these people, men and women, everybody who has sacrificed their life for the betterment of the country. That's why it is a very different and very important day in our uh, country life. You know, uh, we become we got liberty in 1774 6. So it is almost 300 more than 300 years ago we have got the freedom. We got the freedom, and we got the freedom from the England. That's why it's a national uh, day, 4th July 1977 is a very memorial day in our USA life. At the same time, from the Second World War, First World War, Second World War, and any war with USA, a lot of men and women deceased for the save of our country. That's why they are very memorable people in our country, and that's why this day is known as Memorial Day. We have to memorize everybody who has sacrificed their life to establish our country's freedom. Originally called Decoration Day, it was formalized by a Memorial Day order issued by Grand Army of the Republic Commander in Chief John A. Logan in 1868. Originally, this day was known as Decoration Day. It was formalized by a Memorial Day order, and this order was issued by Grand Army of the Republic Commander in Chief John A. Logan in 1868. So I ask everybody to discuss this historical memorial day to all your fellow uh, and friends and your family members to know why it is important in our life, why what is the importance of this day. So I think everybody should discuss with the other people. They do not know why Memorial Day is celebrated in USA. We have to uh, convey our message to the next generation, and for this reason we have to discuss with them, and especially the young people, young adult, we have to make them conscious about this day. The modern proclamation calls on Americans to observe Memorial Day by praying according to their individual religious faith for permanent peace. In waning years of the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, and immediately afterward, communities in the north and south, black and white decorated soldiers, graves with floral honors on springtime decoration days. The practice of storing flowers Decoration Day. The practice of storing flowers on graves has been documented from classical Roman times to Western Europe in the 19th century. On May 5th, 1868, the Grand Army of the Republic, GAR, a politically powerful organization of Union veterans led by Major General John A. Logan. The leader name was Major General John R. Logan, issued General Orders No. 11 of the Memorial Day Act. This Order No. 11 is known as Memorial Day Act. This insurance formally established Memorial Day as a decoration day on which the nation would remember its dead and decorate their graves with flowers. That's why the day was firstly named as Decoration Day, because that day we decorate the uh, dead people's grave. Everybody decorate the dead people's graves with flowers. In subsequent decades, competition flourished to claim when and where the first such gathering occurred in one way or another. Recent scholarship, however, points to the radius of Columbus, Georgia, who in April 1866 lobbied for a clearly defined Memorial Day on which to place flowers on the grave of Civil War dead, namely the dead people who were dead in the Civil War. Is to memorize this day, we celebrate this day, Memorial Day. One early Memorial Day account occurred in Wolfsburg, Pennsylvania, where a tribe of women decorated the graves of fallen soldiers in October 9, 1864. Another was held in Charleston, where black freedom men and white northern abolitionist allies hosted an enormous and historically significant program on May 1, 1864. At the Martyrs of the Racecourse Cemetery, where 257 Union dead were buried. The message conveyed by this largely black assembly honoring U.S. troops on land previously occupied by wealthy white Southern expressed the same message as Quartermaster General Montgomery C. Meigs when he appointed the Robert E. Lee Estate to become Arlington National Cemetery. Unlike that scenario, Charleston organizers could not have foreseen the temporary aspect of the Racecourse site. The army removed the dead of nearby Beaufort National Cemetery within a few years. The idea of storing the Civil War graves of soldiers, Union and Confederate, can be traced to Columbus, Georgia, whose city cemetery was in disarray. A ladies' memorial association formed to improve it, which included a media campaign secretary Mary Ann Williams. Later was published first in the local newspaper on March 11, advocating to set apart a certain day to be observed and be handed down through time as a religious custom of the country. To wreath the graves of our martyred dead with flowers, their chosen date was April 26, 1866. However, the Mississippi city of Columbus an ongoing source of historical confusion, held its event one day earlier than the Georgia Association planned. Thus, it claims to be the first actual Memorial Day event. The Mississippi program was later immemorialized in a popular poem by Francis Miles Finch, The Blue and the Grey, and national reporting in contemporary terms went viral. The April 25 to 26, 1866 Memorial Day events honoring Confederate and Union dead in the South was a step toward reconciliation that reverberated nationwide, though it was predictably uncomfortable for some Northerners. General Logan was aware of these memorial efforts and their origin. In a speech given at an 1866 Independence Day celebration in Salem, Illinois, he spoke of the practice of floral tributes in the context of post-war black civil rights and compares traitors in the South that have their gatherings day after day to strew garlands of flowers upon the graves of the rebel soldiers to a black man who has gained his liberty by the march and pauses and of American arms, who shall come along with a basket of flowers to stew upon the grave of some poor loyal soldiers, that he shall have the right to do it. Nonetheless, they are officially credited an anonymous comrade who had written Adjutant General Norton P. Chipman and recounted how in his native Germany it was customary to visit cemeteries and strew flowers on the graves. Then Chipman elevated it to General Logan, who added several paragraphs and issued it as General Order 11. Mr. John Mrs. John Logan efforts in her husband's successful career also took credit in her autobiography. Mary S. Cunningham Logan presented the idea of placing flowers on soldiers' graves to her husband after returning from a Confederate cemetery in Virginia. Then recounted that General Logan felt it was not too late for the Union men of the nation to follow the example of the people of the South in perpetuating the memory of their friends who had died for the cause which they thought just. General Logan's adopted of the Southern customs was transparent to nearly everyone living in America in 1868. But as the author of ZO11, he was truly responsible for making it a national responsibility. There will always be more to discover the written record about the evolution of Memorial Day. But with the perspective of more than 150 years, it may be less important to identify the holiday's first observation, observes one scholar, than to understand how profoundly the large number of claimants to its origin indicates the ubiquity of the impulse north and south, white and black, to commemorate the date. The Gar order placed the ceremonial observation on May 30 to ensure availability of the choicest flowers of spring time. All over the country, in this observance, no form of ceremony is prescribed, but post and comrades will, in their own way, arrange such fitting service and testimonials of respect of as circumstances may permit. Typical programs involving GAR hosts featured parading, veterans, and ceremonies, punctuated with flags, music, and prayer. In the milieu of graves, bedecked with flowers and attended by families and public alike, The first National Decoration Day celebration took place a few weeks after the GAR promulgated its GO11 on May 30, 1868 at Arlington National Cemetery, VA. Approximately 11,250 white and black Union soldiers were buried along with about 350 Confederate soldiers. More than half were buried as unknowns. The ceremony was held around the Arlington mansion, decorated with flags and draped for mourning. Nearby was the very profuse decoration of the main tomb where the remains of 2,111 unknown soldiers are buried. Was the home of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. The dwelling and land around it was designated a national cemetery in 1864 by General Meigs. The commemorative program in 1868 included remarks by General and Congressman James A. Garfield and later 20th U.S. President. Prayers, dirges, hymns, recitation of the Gettysburg Address and GO11 and playing the Star Spangled Banner, children of the soldiers and sailors orphan asylum were deployed to the decoration of the graves throughout the cemetery. Strewing flowers and raising miniature flags over the graves, notable Union generals and prominent Washington officials were in attendance, and employees of the federal government were permitted free leave to attend. Chiefman, the guard adjutant general who oversee the arrangements, also reported that a small box of flowers picked from all the public gardens were distributed to several regional national cemeteries. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Fredericksburg, Poplar Grove, and Winchester, Virginia, and Loudon Park, MD, for posterity. The GAR published a compendium describing the hundreds of Memorial Day events it organized in local cemeteries, mostly in northern states, and community enthusiasm, even where only a few veterans were buried. Former Confederate states recognized Memorial Days on different dates from April to June. Logan's General Order 11 also urged the nation to never forget the civil war's human cost. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. Let present path invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no neglect, no revenge of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic. In 1873, New York became the first state to officially recognize the holiday. All of the other United States recognized Decoration Day by 1890. The GAR success to ensuring that graves of Union soldiers and sailors are attended to Memorial Day is demonstrated by Army policy as early as 1891. If the GAR or other patriotic organizations were unable to organize a ceremony and decorations at the National Cemetery, that responsibility fell to the cemetery superintendent. This remains true today. The coordination of Memorial Day graves traditions remains the managing agency's responsibility, and federal government often provides miniature flags to be placed on graves. The commemoration of Decoration Day, or as it increasingly became known, Memorial Day, continued through the late 19th and early 20th century as an informal patriotic holiday. After World War I, the event was expanded to honor those who died in all American wars. The 20th century appearance of tablets with slogans, the Government Order 11 promoted this association. The duties of the Women's Relief Corps, the GAR Auxiliary Organization, chartered in 1883, eventually included collecting flowers to make wreaths and buckets and decorating graves of the unknowns. The WRC sought to reaffirm Logan's patriotic Memorial Day message by issuing cast iron tablets with a base relief portrait of Logan above the text of his Government Order 11. In 1920s and 1930s, the organization donated these to state of placement in prominent locations, state houses, courthouses, and schools. In a 15th anniversary publication, WRC reported that by 1933, its chapters had already placed 35 General Logan bronze tablets across the country. More were donated after that date. The tablets are found at Wood National Cemetery, Wisconsin, and Andersonville National Cemetery. The US Army placed its own version of the Memorial Day Act tablets at most of the national cemeteries it developed between the world wars in urban areas, including at Baltimore and Logan Island. And why these are among 28 tablets that Laboring Brothers Incorporation produced in New York, in York County, Pennsylvania, 1939. The design, replication, and dimensions and appearance of iron tablets cast with the Gettysburg Address that the Army installed in all existing national cemeteries in 1909 as a centennial project to honor President Abraham Lincoln. The Memorial Day Act and the Gettysburg Address tablets complement a handful of official issuance the Army had installed in the late 19th century to orient visitors to the origin and rules of the relatively new cemeteries. These include Civil War era bronze shields originally placed on inverted cannon monuments about 1873 and 1881 to 1882. Cast iron tablets with the General Orders No. 80 of 1875, the National Cemeteries Act of 1867, as well as lines of births from the Bible of the dead. The federal government continued to recognize Memorial Day through legislative actions. The Congressional Joint Resolution approved May 11, 1950, 64 State 1858, has requested the President to issue a proclamation calling upon the people of the United States to observe each Memorial Day as a day of prayer for permanent peace and designation a period during each such day when the people of the United States might unite in such supplication. A congressional resolution in 1966 officially recognized as the century of Memorial Day events held on May 30 in Waterloo, NY, officially proclaimed by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Thus, the federal government declares this occasion as the birthplace of Memorial Day. Short after that, the Uniform Monday Holiday Act legislation enacted in 1968, effective in 1971, designated Memorial Day a national holiday and moved it from May 30 to the last Monday in May. Most recently, to reiterate that the sacrifices of America's fallen heroes are never forgotten, in December 2000, the National Moment of Remembrance Act established the White House Commission on the National Moment of Remembrance. The Commission's message to US citizens is to give back to their country, which provides them so much freedom and opportunity by encouraging Memorial Day activities. The Commission also endorsed the National Moment of Remembrance Act, 3 p.m. local time, each Memorial Day. a minute of silence for those who have died in service to the nation. John Alexander Logan was born in Murfreesboro, Illinois. He fought in the Mexican-American War, then returned home where he was admitted to the bar and elected to the Illinois House of Representatives. He and Mary Simonson Cunningham married in 1885 and they would have two children. Logan, lifelong military and varied political career, often overlapped. He was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives as a Democrat 1859 to 1862, but resigned to serve in the Civil War, in which he was commissioned a brigadier general, then major general of volunteers. After the war, he was re-elected to Congress 1867 to 1877, but as a Republican. Concurrently, he served as the Grand Army of the Republic Guard National Commander for 3 terms, starting in January 1868 to 1879. He was elected to the U.S. Senate, where he served until his death. Logan is interred at the Soldiers and Americans Home National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. For Logan National Cemetery near Denver, Colorado was named for Logan in 1889. Patriot John A. Logan. The first guard post was organized and chartered in Decatur. In addition to Thornton Harris' Bivouac of the Dead, which was written after the Mexican-American War but remained popular through the post-Civil War years. The first is by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, among the most popular American poets of the 19th century, published well after the end of the Civil War. His Decoration Day poem appeared in the June 1882 issue of the Atlantic magazine. It concludes with "Your silent tent of green we deck with fragrant flowers, yours has the suffering been. The memory shall be ours." The other is by Paul Laurence Dunbar, one of the first influential black poets in American literature and the son of Joshua Dunbar, a former slave who served in the U.S. colored troops in the Civil War and is buried in Dayton National Cemetery. The younger Dunbar wrote Ode for Memorial Day in 1896. Flowers of charity, peace, and devotion bloom to the hearts that are empty of strife. So, with the singing of poem and chorus, and with the flag flashing high in the sun, placed on the grave of our heroes, their laurels, which their unfettered, faltering valor has owned. This is the all in short our Memorial Day history. So you have to discuss with all of your uh, follow fellow next generation to, to know them, to inform them. This is the history of the our Memorial Day, a long history, and the history already started from the Civil War, and that's why it is known as the Memorial Day. Somebody is saying this is only for Memorial Day, but not only for Memorial Day, not only for Civil War. It is now established as a broader aspect, and any uh, hero died in the war would be memorized in favor of with the Memorial Day. That's why we celebrate the Memorial Day the last Monday of the month May. And you have the young generation, you have to know everything about this. Thank you everybody for listening me, And thank you everybody to circulate this idea to the other people, especially the young generation. They they have to know about the history of the Memorial Day. We think everybody knows this, and yeah, old adult already know this, but young adult is, may not be uh, actually know the real history of this Memorial Day. That's why it's a great um, importance in our national life. Thank you everybody to join with me, and I am very grateful to you to listen me. Thank you. I am going to closing my live right now, and I would like to uh, another time about another topic, and I think you will join with me, and I will be very happy to discuss with you. Thank you all of you. I am very grateful, very grateful to you. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and um, make some comments, like and share with the others. Thank you all.